Mr. and Mrs. Traveler here,
El Cosplay.
coming to you with another Tip Tuesday.
It's Tip Tuesday. It's too hot to film outside. It's 95 degrees today.
It is very warm.
It's too hot to sit outside, so we are inside today. I hope you enjoy our fall decorations.
Indeed.
Right, and we thank you so much for supporting our channel. I just want to reiterate that again. We go by you all, so when you all ask us questions, we actually answer them, and thank you so much for your support. We're so grateful. I just want to throw that in. And also, Mr. Traveler is feeling much better. He was sick last week, and that's just a little update for us. He wasn't feeling good and took the week off, and I went ahead and filmed from Universal myself. So thank you so much for the prayers, and thank you for the comments.
Yeah,
He's doing better.
He wasn't doing too bad. Just had a little leg and foot injury. That's all.
He wasn't feeling good.
Anyway,
that's not normal for him.
So I got a message from one of our subscribers, Two Speed.
Hi, Two Speed.
Asking that we should do a video on passports.
Yes, that is excellent video, especially for first-time cruisers.
Yep. We have done one before, but we'll do a fresh one for you.
With it, I think that we need to do an update. We need to do a refresher on passports. A lot of new subscribers are on our channel, and if you're not subscribed, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Hit the notification button. That way you know we're uploading. We upload every week. We go live on the weekends. Subscribe to our channel because we can help you save on cruise deals, resorts, any vacation needs. We got you.
Now let's talk about these little guys here.
Yes.
So we're going to go into somewhat depths and give you all you need to know for there.
Hopefully we can cover the basics.
Yes. So let's start off by saying that we always recommend passports to all of our friends, family, clients, whoever.
That's right.
I think that they're a really good investment for the adults. They last 10 years. So you really can't beat it. To me, it's a really good form of identification. So
yes, hopefully we can cover everything that you need on passports, and if we don't, just comment below. We can help you with your question. That way you can be featured on our channel.
Okay, so the main question we get all the time is, do I need a passport? And this is primarily for our cruising people.
Or who needs a passport?
Yeah, so currently, under the current law, you do not need a passport for the closed loop cruise, or those are the cruises that begin and end in the U.S. ports. So you would not need a passport, technically. Although we still highly recommend them, and we'll go into that a little bit. Here in a bit, but you know, things change. We're in the world can be a bit of a tumultuous place, and you never know when the requirements for this are going to change to where you do need them. I think that that's going to happen sooner than later. Me
too. I agree. I think it's going to happen to where birth certificates are not good enough. You're going to need a passport eventually.
Yeah. So you can't use the passport card for the closed loop cruises. You can use a valid ID and a valid and authorized birth certificate. So those are the certificates that have like the raised seal on there from the city or the county where you were born. And if your passport or your documentation is different from your birth certificate name, okay, then you're gonna have to bring something that shows how you got to that name. So let's say you have your birth certificate and it's Johnson, and now you're Smith. That's good. That's good. I like that. You have to bring that document saying how you got to Smith. So more likely to be a marriage certificate. Okay. So that's our recommendation for you. But now let's talk about you're on a cruise. Why do we recommend that you need one?
Yeah. Why do you need it?
Well, you know, a couple of things could happen. First of all, a really good tip is for your passport is to make a couple of copies of these.
And leave them at home with your itinerary for your cruise, resort, or wherever you're going. You want to make sure you leave it home with a loved one or a friend. That way, if there's an emergency, you can be contacted, or they can send you information, because information gets lost all the time when you're cruising.
Yeah, I mean, that's a really good idea. I would say a trusted friend or relative. But
definitely. Somebody you really trust, because that has happened to our clients before as well, and us. We have left our information at home to where we had to have it sent to us on a cruise. So that's a good tip.
So a couple of issues with these. First of all, if you're wanting to do a Cuba cruise, and that is a closed loop cruise that begins and ends in the U.S., Cuba requires a visa stamp with your passport. So to get a visa, you have to have passports. So any Cuba cruise that you're thinking about doing, just know that you must have a passport to go along with that. Outside of that, with the Caribbean cruising and things like that, it's always a good idea to have these because there's a couple of key things that could happen. One of them is illness.
Yes, you can become ill. Your health can become compromised.
Yeah, if you had to get hospitalized in a foreign country or something like that, and the ship has to leave you, you need these to fly home.
Yes, you do.
Okay, if you miss the ship and you need to even get to the next port, sometimes some of these islands, like when we went from just the last cruise that we went on, we went from St. Martin over to St. Bart's for the day.
Yep.
St. Bart's required a passport.
We had to have our passport, even though we were cruising. We still had to show our passports in St. Bart's.
You cannot go over to St. Bart's with a birth certificate. So, and it's like that with a lot of the other little islands. If you want to hop from one to the other, you're going to need these. So if you miss the ship, you're going to need these. What if the ship breaks down and has something mechanical?
Yeah, you never know what can happen. It's out of our control, but you want to make sure you're prepared.
So, I'm not saying that you'll never get home without the passport, but you're going to have a much more difficult time than somebody who has a passport and walks up and shows it, can prove who they are, and gets right on the plane.
It's very hard to prove who you are outside the place that you live.
Yeah, you have to get involved with the U.S. Embassy and all that stuff. So, do yourself a favor and let's get the passport. So why don't we talk about how much they are?
Sure. So how much does it cost to get it? Well, as of today, October 2018, the fees may change next year, but right now it's $110 for an application fee and $35 for an execution fee. So it's a $35 processing fee, and you have to pay $110, altogether $145.
So $145 divided by 10 years.
That's pretty good. That's a deal.
I mean, it really is nothing to me. To me, I consider this an investment in your vacation future.
Absolutely. I think it's an investment, and I think instead of you trying to carry around your birth certificate, the flimsy piece of paper, at least you have a leather covering and you can just stick it in your wallet or stick it in your purse and go, versus an envelope with your birth certificate with it, and it's so flimsy it can tear, anything can happen to it. So make sure you invest in the passport. And
we don't make a dime off of this stuff. I mean, I don't like to see people get caught in a pinch, because you just never know what's going to happen. Right. And $145 for 10 years, I mean, I can sit here and try to do the math, but okay, it's pennies a day or something, right? And less than a penny a day or something, I don't know, whatever. But it is an investment in your vacation future. This is just as important as travel insurance to me. And how about the kids? How much is the kids?
And for children, it's $80 an application fee.
Under 16 years old.
Under 16 years old, and $35 for the processing fee, which is the execution fee.
$115. Theirs doesn't last quite as long. So the kids' passport is good for 5 years. So I still think that is a very good investment.
Yes, especially for kids, because the last thing you want to do is fumble around with the birth certificate for the kids, and you can just whip out the passport. You can go right through TSA or customs very easily.
Yep. Just keep in mind that if you're like a grandparent taking the child and all that kind of thing, there's different little rules and regulations for you. So you want to check with your travel agent or your the cruise line or wherever you're going to see what the requirements are going to be for traveling with the child. Oftentimes you have to bring like a notarized letter from the parents or something saying that you give them authority for the child to travel with you.
Right. You have to have a letter. It saves you a lot of headache and worries, and then you will be able to enjoy your vacation just a little bit better to cross one more thing off your list.
And we always suggest, if you're going on the port, say you're going into Nassau or something, when you make a copy for your friends or family at home, make a copy for yourself too.
Yes.
So you can keep these on board the ship and just have a copy with you, because usually most of the ports you just need to take an ID and your ship card with you, so you don't risk losing this or getting it stolen.
Right.
God forbid anything should happen where you're hospitalized or something like that. The cruise line will know about it. They'll send the people, if you put this in your safe, they'll send the people to your safe to get your things, including your passports, and bring them to you. And then if you should happen to miss the ship, at least you have that photocopy with you, and say, hey, my passport is on the ship, but here's the copy. I think you'll be in much better shape than you will not having it.
That's right. Where do I need to go to get it?
That is an excellent question. So for your standard passport application, most of post offices, a lot of post offices that do these, your local or county courts will do them. They have passport processing centers that will do them.
Yes.
And then they have other expedited centers if you need to do a passport more quickly. Of course, there's fees attached with that will cost you more money to get your passport application processed more quickly. You go on travel.state.gov and play around on their site. On there, they have a place where you can enter your zip code, and it'll give you locations on where you can apply for the passport.
Sure.
Or just do a Google search, where can I apply for a passport? And it'll pop up, and you probably just put your zip code in there.
It's just that easy.
Or, where can I apply for my passport? And my zip code is 01902. That's somewhere up north.
But you can put it in there and it'll give you that.
But if you live in 019012, hey.
So the next question is what you need to get it.
What documentation do you need to get your passport?
Yes.
Excellent
what do you
question.
need to get it?
The things I'm going to tell you to need are for a U.S. citizen, born, raised in the U.S. If you're not that, then check with those passport facilities and ask them what you'll need. Give them a call before you go so you can find out exactly what you need. But for the U.S. born citizens, you're going to need a birth certificate. You need to bring a driver's license or a like a state ID.
Some proof.
Right? And then you need a secondary form of ID, something like a work ID, Social Security. You're going to need two of these, by the way. A Social Security card, an expired driver's license, a work ID, a selective service card, a medical card with your name on there, or voter registration card. So you're going to need a couple of those things in addition to the birth certificate and the valid ID to go. And so those are the things that you'll need.
Yeah, absolutely. You want to make sure you take your proof of residency. If you can prove where you live, you're going to need that documentation to get your passport.
Now, I do get this question from time to time. And it's always an adventure trying to pull it out of people. What's going on, because they're embarrassed.
What will stop you from getting a passport? That comes up all the time. They don't know how to ask us, but we can tell you if you ask us.
They'll ask us what will stop you getting a passport, or if I go on this cruise ship, will I be able to go back home without going home in handcuffs or something, right?
Comment below if this question ever came across your mind. What will stop you from getting a passport? And if you cruise out, would you cruise back? Because it's a lot of stipulations that go along with that. We have some veteran cruisers, some cruise fans. Some cruises been cruising as long as us, and they can comment below and help us out with this question as well. I
tell you the biggie. This is the biggie that comes up. If you owe over $2,500 in child support, don't even think about going to the passport office, because it ain't happening.
Yeah, that's the bad news.
Yep. So you got to get your business together, get it together. If you owe $2,500 in child support, you probably don't need to be booking a cruise anyway.
No, you don't.
So,
Because they'll let you cruise out, but you will not cruise back.
Well, you can't get the passport, so
Yeah.
you know what I mean. And then there's some other felonies and things like that where you're not able to get passports, but you will know that because the judge will tell you that you're not able to do those things.
Yes, so we're here to help you. Just give us a call. We can try to help you, but you're going to have to stay legal.
If you have warrants and things like that, you're probably not going to get a passport, and I probably would not recommend you go cruising, because you may not make it past the customs when you come back off the ship.
That's right. You heard it. You heard it from us. Don't come back and call us and say, I booked the cruise, and all of a sudden, we told you. So don't act like you didn't know.
Yeah. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. Snowball says hey.
Snowball said hello. He missed everybody. He got a haircut. It's too hot outside.
Yeah, he did. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching.
What was that? Yeah.
That's not even, you're supposed to say attack. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching.
Thank you for watching.
We appreciate and love each and every one of you guys.
Stay tuned for the celebrity cruises coming up. We have so many fun videos coming up. You don't want to miss it. Hot Topics is Thursday. Life short. Have fun. We got a great cabin on the celebrity now, too. You should mention that on there. We catch you. We're looking. Bye, guys. Bye, guys.